Hey everyone and welcome, another mixed media layout. So I'm just using the colour paste that we got from Colour Blast in the mixed media kits this month, Envy and Punch I believe. But check out the unboxing if you want to check all the kits on the Facebook page or on the shop. But I'm just using a dry brush and I'm just adding the modelling paste, because it is modelling paste, just coloured straight onto the paper in a line. Obviously I did work out as I got up above, got more lines into it, that if you dab some colour across the line and then spread it, it evens out a bit better rather than adding all the colour at one end first. So I grab another dry brush, and use the pink colour. And it just is so lovely. The colour paste has a sheen to it, so it's a bit shimmery, glittery kind of look as well. So not only do you have the colour, a little bit of a dimension, you could definitely add a thicker amount if you were wanting a bit more texture to it. So I've just added a little dab to my mat here, and I'm adding water and mixing it well. Because it is paste, you do need to mix well to water it down. And I'm just adding some splatters, and I just really like the background for it. It works so well, and it goes with the kit perfectly. Doing again with the green color, and that way I've got splatters going on. I didn't think about the splatters when I was using the green, so I cleaned my brush and got it dirty again, but that's okay. Just used a wet wipe to clean that brush up. So I did dry it after this stage, but while I'm waiting for it to dry a little bit, because it is thick texture paste on there, it does take a little bit longer than normal mixed media background. But while I'm waiting for it, I do work on my photo layers and some embellishments. I've grabbed my photo here, just me and my son trying to take a selfie. This was years ago. And I'm just using one of those puffy, thicker titles as my title. Pulled it out. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I found the perfect place right up here, and that's exactly where it's going to stay. I don't and ah at all on this kit, on this layout very much. Actually, I don't think at all. Definitely not with the title, but I don't think I do at all. So I'm going through and I'm just finding some papers. I am just looking for the same colours, pink and the mint, and luckily for us, Steph has worked out that we've got them in the papers, and that's why she chose those colours in the mixed media kit. I'm going to do some different layering. So normally when I layer my photos, the first layer is a full matte layer. It's around all four sides, but today I decided I didn't want that to occur. So I've got the three bottom sides here, the two sides and the bottom, with this mint, and then I'll go with the pink, and again just three sides rather than the four. The last layer I am going to add around the four, but I do have to cut it down because I realized it became so big and was taking over the page, and it just didn't need to be like that. I wanted the colors of the background to pop. So I'm just cutting this down so that it's not on the side there on the left of the photo. Just making sure my paper is even, because I was just roughly cutting it away from the big 12 by 12 size. And these papers are just beautiful. All the mixed media background and goodness and everything is just lovely. So I'm going to use this graph side of this paper, and then I will fussy cut some of the flowers on the other side. Because when I unboxed it, I wasn't sure. These kind of papers throw me. So if you have a brilliant idea of how to use them, where they have a big plainish kind of background and then some little detail on the side or the bottom corner, then let me know, because that's something I need to work on and work out a solution, because I just don't know what to do with them. So I'm just fussy cutting these flowers. Very easy. They're just someone's drawn them on this background here. Very simple but very effective, and they are the perfect colours. So they are going to go on. And the other thing is, even though they're not full, because they are have a straight edge on them, it is nice to just tuck them in behind the photo, and you wouldn't even know that they're not a full flower arrangement without seeing this video or seeing the paper, I guess. So again, fussy cutting this pink one, and then we'll be able to get set on finishing the layout. You can see it's not a very long video because it was very easy to put together this page. I wasn't sure what I would be able to do. I wasn't, when I found out it was this collection, before I even unboxed it, I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to use these colours in the papers. Admittedly, I hadn't looked that close, but when I unboxed it, I was like, oh, it's not as crazy as I'd made out in my head, and the layout just came together. It's all started with the mixed media goodness, that's for sure. So here's where I realised that the paper layers were too big, so I'm cutting down awkwardly because I've glued it underneath. But we get there in the end. Could always fix up things like that or cover them up. Now I just work on that title by itself. I don't put anything up the top with that title, and then I only have one cluster on this page. So I'm just going to work on that. But first I thought, oh, I should use some of those Project Life cards. So the design team this month was challenged to add 4 items from their stash so that we could use up our stash items, but also show that you guys could grab something from your stash and play along, and then also use up some of your goodies and not have them sitting around. Because sometimes especially when you subscribe to kits, you might just end up using those kits and killing them, or using part of the kit and not actually digging into your stash very much at all. So this is a nice way to do so. So one of my items is Project Life cards, and if you want to check out my other items, then check out the unboxing. I select them after I unbox the kits, and that way you can see what I choose, but also my thought process behind it, because it's a real-time video recording. So I did decide on putting those Project Life cards to the side there, layered up. I do cut them in half so that I can use the other half later on another layout, and then I do decide that I want fun foam behind the photo so that it does lift up off that mixed media background. So I'm just going to position it right there, making sure that some of the mixed media is underneath as well as above, so that we can see all that lovely texture and shininess and glimmer of colour. On goes the title, because I know that's where it's going to go, and then I start with my cluster here with those fussy cut flowers as the base. So if you checked out my unboxing this month, you will know that I used a different system to store my goodies. I normally use a really useful box, but this time I chose something different. So if you want to find out, then check out the unboxing video over on my channel. But it is working pretty well so far. Admittedly, I've only made one layout, but that's okay. So I'm going through the embellishments here. I found this flower that is the same kind of drawn look, and I'm going to add this up on some foam tape when I realise which one is open. And I found that big camera, and because it is quite big, it does need to be tucked in a little, but it's good that I am tucking it in there because it's not making it stand out so much. This flare was the perfect tone, and it has leaves on it with the word joy, so it went superbly with this layout, so I had to put it on. So I don't know about you, but I'm one, if it works and I can get it on, then I'm going to get it on rather than holding on to it for the right thing, because now is the right layout. So I pulled out some wood veneer, some leaf fronds, and they are one of my other items that I picked out of my stash. And then I'm finding some of these puffy inflatable hearts from Amy Tan that are in the kit to add to the layout. I thought I was going to nestle one in there, in like the flower cluster between the camera, but then I found these tiny wood veneer words that say right and now, and I've discovered that that's the perfect spot for them. So instead, I add one pink on the pink line and one on the green line, and that way they're sort of little colour coordinated. So adding some fun foam behind the camera, because like you would remember, I did put my photo up on Fun Foam, so it just needs to be evened out on an even level. And then I'm going to add two of just going to glue everything down. So I'm gluing the wood veneer, just having a little second to hold and make sure it is glued down. And then I'm going to add those right now. And so I think it's really nice to overlap your cluster onto the photo a little bit. That way it sort of blends it in, and then that way for this layout especially, it's like the background is back in by itself, and then the photo and the cluster jumps off the page. So it's really nice to have it set out that way. The other thing is I've got the title and the puffies in the background kind of dimension. So just adding some enamel dots to finish it off, and then we've gone into close-ups. So I'll see you next time when we do another layout. Thanks guys, bye.